Starting with our breeding stock, we'll go into our market animals, and then we'll do our showmanship. And just so you know, we're going to do our senior showmanship first, and then we'll be going down here for beginners. So we'll do breeding stock, our market animals, we'll finish up with showmanship. Showmanship will be seniors, intermediate, and then our beginners. So we're going to get our show started in about 5 minutes. If you have animals, you can start putting them in the loading pens. We're going to start with our winner ewe lambs, junior suffolks, and we'll put out the list with our breeding stock.
I'm your ring, I'm your liner up.
So for our breeding stock, we're going to start bringing those animals into the holding areas. Winner ewe lambs, spring ewe lamb suffolks, sure ewes, winter ewe lamb Hampshires. Those animals can start coming on deck.
From the Custer Coliseum at the Northern Wisconsin State Fairgrounds. Good morning. I'm Brian Winnikins, and we are getting ready for our sheep show here from the Northern Wisconsin State Fairgrounds. We have 23 sheep in today's show. And throughout the morning, we would like to say thank you to our video streaming sponsors, including Wisconsin Credit Union, Chippewa Valley Energy, Provisions Health of Durand, 24/7 and West Wisconsin Telecom, Pierce Pepin Cooperative Services, Numbers R Us, O'Galley Cheese Factory, Bluff Country Feed and Seed, Compeer Financial, and Synergy Co-op. As, again, 23 sheep are in part of the sheep show today, and this is show 1 of 2 today, as later on this afternoon at 1 o'clock, we will have the very big beef show. That is going to be a long show this afternoon, and we are looking forward to that as well. So it's going to be a fun afternoon here from fun morning and afternoon from the Northern Wisconsin State Fair. Looking forward to everything today. And again, the fair will be opening up in earnest later on this morning. 10 o'clock is when everything gets underway. The flag raising ceremony will begin at 11 o'clock this morning as well. Some of the other events today include the Midway. That's opening up at 12 noon today. Again, our beef cattle show will be at 1 o'clock. We will have that from the Custer Coliseum later on this afternoon as well. Also, we have the pig, duck, and goat races starting at 1:45. I should video stream those one time, right? That's in the animal racing area. I wonder how you call that.
Sheep exhibitors, we're going to start with our breeding stock. So we'll have breeding stock. We can start bringing those animals into the holding area in the arena. And we have junior Suffolk winter ewe lamb, junior Suffolk spring ewe lamb, junior Suffolk sure ewes, junior Hampshire winter ewe lambs, junior Hampshire spring ewe lambs. We can start bringing those animals in deck. We have some Dorset winter ewe lambs. These classes are going to go pretty quick.
We'll have you a seat right over there.
Animals on deck.
I'll give you this. And what we'll try to do is, I'm going to have to actually, I'm going to have you sit here. So I may have to run the camera.
Again, welcome to our sheep show, and joining us right now is Olivia Luther. She's the judge's daughter, so she's going to help us out here a little bit with the sheep and how we do judging. And Olivia, thank you for joining us. Okay, so how long have you been showing sheep?
Ever since I've been in 4-H, so basically when I was like 7, like all the way down to like 6 or 5 probably.
Okay, so what are we going to be looking for? What's your dad looking for when he judges?
Well, just the most structurally correct sheep, A sheep with good shape and muscle. I don't know.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I know when we watch this, the exhibitor is going to be positioning the sheep and the way they hold their head. Why are they doing all of that?
Well, so usually, depending on the breed, you're just going to go into the ring, set up your sheep, put it on a nice brace, and hold the head up nice and good, because that just gives my dad a good profile view so that he can really evaluate the sheep, and it makes the sheep look really nice.
Okay, all right. We're talking with Olivia Luther. She is the judge's daughter. So is your dad a real hard judge on you?
I guess so, yeah.
All right, we'll be getting our first class here coming up in just a moment here from the Northern Wisconsin State Fair. I'm Brian Winnikins, and again, welcome to everyone watching not only on our YouTube channel website, but also on our Facebook page as well. We have 23 sheep in the class. Okay, so they're going to do a little bit of cleanup here in the ring, and then we'll get things underway just after that as well. So, Olivia, what do you like best about showing sheep?
I guess I like working hard with my family, and I don't know, just being out there every morning with my family, like practicing and then going to shows with my family and going to fairs with my family, and I just really like being around the sheep also, yeah.
So how many head do you have with the family?
Gosh, probably close to 30 ewes.
Oh, wow.
30 ewes, yeah.
Okay, and are they breeding stock or as well, or do you actually use them as meat animals too?
Well, most of our offspring, if they're wethers, then they're meat animals, but all of our ewes are just breeding stock.
Okay. Talking again with Olivia Luther. She shows sheep. Her dad is the judge today for our sheep show. They're doing a little bit of pickup here from not only the hog show from yesterday, but some of the exhibitors have been practicing as well. Is that the hard part, Olivia? So you do a lot of work at home with your sheep, but then you come in to this brand new building, total strange, and all these other people are here. Does that kind of throw everything off for you?
I don't know. I think it's different if you're showing in a different, like if you're going somewhere else to show, or if you're just going to watch the show. But
for the sheep, are they okay with all of this, or do they get a little bit like, hey, wait a minute, we've been working in the barn, and now who are all these people?
Yeah, I think it just depends on if there's other sheep around them, because sheep really like to follow. And my sheep are definitely a lot more calm if they have other sheep. And it doesn't even matter if they know the other lamb or if they don't. But just being around other sheep helps, and having everybody around them being calm. And, yeah, I think that helps a lot, too.
Talking with Olivia Luther this morning as we have our sheep show. We'll be getting underway here in just a moment as they want to make sure that the arena is also cleaned up here a little bit from the hog show as well. But that is one of the reasons then why maybe before the show, if you have a chance, you come in here at least, if anything, to walk around so the sheep's kind of familiar with the surroundings.
Yeah, I think that can help, yeah.
And so, again, we're getting ready for the sheep show here in just a couple of minutes. Olivia's dad is the judge today, so thanks to Olivia for kind of jumping in and joining with us this morning, kind of give us some pointers on what the exhibitors will be doing. And Olivia, showing sheep is a lot. It's a lot easier than a steer, and it seems like it's even probably a little bit easier than pigs, because pigs are just out of control.
Yeah. Well, I think with sheep, since you don't have a halter typically, I mean, you can, but if you don't have a halter on in the ring, you have to really get used to working with that animal. And even if you do have a halter on the ring, you have to really get used to working with that animal, setting up legs. It's a lot of personal contact with the sheep, so you need to make sure that you and your sheep have a relationship.
All right, looks like we are.
It looks like we're going to get started here.
All right, we're ready to go here.
Breeding stock with our sheep. And we're going to have our first class is Junior Suffolk Winter Ewe Lambs. And 1 entry with Wyatt Golden. On deck, we will have Junior Suffolk Springy Lamb, Wyatt Golden, and Aubrey Wilson.
So Olivia, do you have to, you just take them right out to the middle and then that's it? It's not like the cattle where you have to be walking around?
Well, with a single entry, it's definitely a lot different than if there's a whole class. But typically, if it's a whole class, the judge is going to want to see them all on the move and then setting up with a profile and then seeing them from the back and from the front. So.
Okay. Now, what's he checking? He looks like he's checking teeth or what?
Yeah, I think so when you check the teeth, it really shows the age of the sheep. And I guess that's just really what he's doing.
Now, when an exhibitor's out there, and the judge is up close, does he ask questions about your sheep?
It's typically more just in showmanship when the judge is going to ask more specific questions about the sheep. But if it's like a very specific breed of sheep, then they will ask more questions.
Now we have a single entry set of ewe lamb. She's a February born ewe lamb that lies in the for us. A ewe lamb that we really like for femininity. If you watch this ewe, just in terms of the front end of her structure, she's real smooth to her shoulder. She's got a really good neck-shoulder placement. I think she's plenty good in terms of the skeletal structure, the fact that her nose point forward, she's up and strong on her pasterns. She's also a ewe that you handle this female through her rack, loin, and hip, and she gives us a fair amount of muscle body. And so if we were going to change her, we'd probably like to see her just a notch square in her hip shape, a little bit more up and wider in her pin set, but definitely a nice, structurally sound, functional female for Wyatt to bring back into his flock. Let's give him a round of applause and definitely worthy of blue ribbon.
Blue ribbon awarded to Wyatt Golden. Next, we'll have our Junior Suffolk Spring New Lambs. We have 2 entries in this class, one exhibited by Wyatt Golden and the other one by Aubrey Wilcom. We can bring those animals in the ring. And on deck, we'll have our junior. On deck, we'll have our junior Hampshire Winter New Lambs. So those animals will be on deck.
Again, you're watching our coverage of the 2023 Northern Wisconsin State Fair Sheep Show from the Custer Coliseum. And thank you to our sponsors, including Alcivia Co-op, Security Financial Bank, Sundstrom & Company, Prime Realty, Adams Super Service, NTech, and Dunn Energy, along with the Northern Wisconsin State Fair. Okay, so now that we have 2, so he's going to want to have them do a little parading around, right, Olivia?
Yep.
Okay. So with the younger exhibitor, he's also explaining how he wants them set up, or what's he probably telling them?
Well, he doesn't really say much. He's just taking a look at the animals, but he will instruct the exhibitors where he wants them set up in the ring so that he can get a better view of the animal.
Now, do you lose points when the sheep get a little cranky like that or not?
No.
Okay.
No, it's just all about how the sheep is. If the sheep's acting a certain way, that's not going to take anything away from how the sheep's built.
Okay.
And yeah.
Okay. Because that is always the hard thing. You get out there and then you got a sheep that's just kind of not wanting to behave, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's happened to me so many times.
And what do you just kind of work through it?
Yeah, you just kind of have to try to keep your sheep calm, and it's difficult to keep calm in a situation like that, but the best thing you can do is just to stay calm and work with the sheep as best as you can.
Talking with Olivia Luther. She is a sheep exhibitor, and her dad's the judge today. That's got to be hard right now for that one exhibitor. She's doing everything she can to, but sometimes the sheep are just going to be like, we don't like this today. We're going to be cranky today.
Yeah, definitely.
in the class, probably 6 years.
So we have two March Corps and Suffolk ewes that we can compliment both of them just in terms of their breed character. Very black about their points, really represent the Suffolk breed well, just in terms of how they have a bell-shaped ear that gives us just a little bit more size. Also, as I said earlier, black about their legs a little bit, and so yeah, real true to the Suffolk breed, and we appreciate that about it. The ewe that we're going to use to start this class with, this is the ewe on my left-hand side, exhibited by the young man in the blue plaid shirt. This is a ewe that it's just a little bit deeper in her rear platforming. She's a notch wider in her loin. I think she too is a female. When I look at her from behind, I just got a touch more hip width, and I think we have just a little bit more muscle mass in that center portion of her leg. I will say that the ewe that we have in the second place today, she's a ewe that's just a notch more relaxed in her spine movement. I like the fact that she's just a little freer and easier moving. And so from a structural standpoint, I do think she has some advantages relative to the first place. But two really good ewes that represent the Suffolk breed well for us. Let's give both of these exhibitors a round of applause.
And we're watching coverage of our 2023 Sheep Show from the Northern Wisconsin State Fair. I'm Brian
Our
Winnikins.
first blue in that class is awarded to Wyatt Copeland, and our second blue awarded to Aubrey Welcome. Next in the ring, we should have a junior Hampshire winner ewe lambs. We have 3 exhibitors in this class: Aubrey Welcome, Macy Heitke, and Olivia Heitke.
Later on this afternoon, we will have our cattle show. That'll begin at about 1 o'clock. We'll start the live video stream about 12:55 or so. We'll be doing that. So, Olivia, are you still in high school?
Oh, I'm just going into high school
You're
this year.
just starting high school. Oh,
Yes.
wow. Okay. So, again, Olivia's dad is the judge today. Okay, so what are your plans when you get out of high school?
I have no idea.
No, good for you. Be a kid first. Now, are you showing this? You're obviously not showing here, but will you be showing at Pierce County Fair this year? Or?
No, we won't be showing at Pierce County Fair this year, but we will be showing at the State Fair this year.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay, so have you shown there before?
Yes, last year we had the Supreme Reserve Grand Champion U,
Oh,
which
my
was
word.
really fun.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. And so did that mean you went to the governor's livestock auction with that?
No, because it was a U, we had to
Okay.
bring it back.
Okay.
But my sister got to show in the Coliseum, and it was really fun to just be there. So this is going to be my second year at the State Fair this year.
Okay. Wow. Well, good luck on that. Well, again, we appreciate you coming in and joining us today. I'll let you get back so you can kind of watch the show, and that way you can enjoy and maybe get some tips from your dad, too, when he's done.
Yep, thank you.
That is Olivia Luther. She is an exhibitor, and her dad's the judge today. Oh, we got a sheep on the loose. And coming up, we're going to be talking with a sheep breeder as well, who's been in the industry for, from what I've been told, 60 years. So we're going to be doing that here as well coming up in just a couple minutes. Then we'll have the cattle show coming up at 1 o'clock today. There we go now. We're going to hopefully our exhibitors. All right. We're going to be getting the directions from the judge, and we'll get our results here in just a moment. Beautiful day here in Chippewa Falls for the Northern Wisconsin State Fair. Come on out and join us throughout the day. You can come on over to the WRDN booth. We're in Building C, and you can Tell us, why do you listen to the radio? We're doing or participating in a survey with the National Association of Farm Broadcasting, and we'll help you fill out the survey from our booth, and you'll go into a drawing for $500. So come on over to our booth in Building C during the Northern Wisconsin State Fair.
Start out this Hampshire class that are very similar to one another, and I think you can probably see that just from looking from the outside in. The ewe that I decided to start the class with is a female I like just a little better in terms of her femininity and her overall structural design. As you analyze her front end, she's just a little bit less prominent in that breastplate. I think, too, she's a female that's just a notch more relaxed in her spine when she's on the move. And one of the things I really like about her is just how high she is in her chest floor and how well balanced she is in her underline. You look at that foreportion of her rib back to her rear flank, and she's just real parallel relative to her spine. And so I think from a structure standpoint and a femininity standpoint, the ewe that we have in first really belongs in first, in my opinion. I think the ewe that we have in second, now she's a female that's just a notch bigger in terms of her rib design. She gets a little bit deeper sided. You can even argue that she's just a notch wider through her loin. But she does get a little bit more prominent in her breastplate for me relative to the other female. I'd like to see her be just a little bit deeper in her rear flank relative to her chest floor. If we could change those things, she'd gravitate towards the top of the class. The young lady's ewe we have in third, this is a ewe I really like just in terms of how large and explosive really she is in terms of her rack shape. Really carries a tremendous amount of muscle through her loin and through her hip. Maybe a female that's just not quite as long spine, quite as level spine and level hip, and quite as big in terms of her foot size relative to the ewes that we have in first and second. But let's give all these exhibitors a round of applause. What a pleasure to evaluate the Hampshire ewes.
Our first blue in that class awarded to Macy Heitke, and our second blue awarded to Olivia Heitke. We're now going to go back and pick our champion Suffolk, and we have Wyatt Gotham sports his first place Suffolk South. On deck will be our junior Hampshire Spring ewe lambs, and then we have our Dorset winter ewe lambs on deck. For your champion Suffolk ewe, we're going to go with the female that's just a little bit older in terms of her chronological age, and that's going to be the ewe on my left-hand side. I think she offers just a notch more in terms of muscle shape. I also think she's a female that's just a little bigger bodied and a little bit more functional, not to take away from our reserve champion female. We like her femininity. Just needs a little bit more time to develop some muscle shape as she continues on feeding. And so let's give both these exhibitors a round of applause and congratulations to the Suffolk group. And our champion Suffolk exhibited by Wyatt Gotham. Congratulations. Next we have a junior Hampshire Spring ewe lamb exhibited by Whitney Gotham.
What is this for?
It's for our video stream. And welcome back. We are continuing our coverage of the sheep show from the Northern Wisconsin State Fair. Right now joining us, Jerry Mishi. He's a sheep breeder. He's been doing it for a few years, at least what I've been told. Jerry, thanks for joining us. So how long have you been in the sheep industry?
All my life, I guess. When I was home on the home farm I was, and then when I got married, got my own farm, I stayed with it, and I worked out. But I've always had a flock all my life.
So a certain breed, or
I've had every breed. I retain mostly the Suffolks. I've got all Suffolks now. But I think I've had about every breed of sheep there ever was, you know.
Obviously, you've stayed with the Suffolks, so what do you like best?
Well, they finish out best for our fairs, you know, as far as the market shows. I mean, the Hampshires and Suffolks are usually your winners, you know. They finish out better, yeah.
Also,
don't worry.
Analyze her relative to some of the other females in terms of a rib cage, which leads me to believe that she's going to be a female that, when put into production, she's going to maintain her condition quite well for this young lady. Again, if we could change her, we'd probably like to make her a little bit more prominent in terms of her Hampshire breed character, give her a little bit more wool trending down towards her eye channels and up on the top of her head. I think also a female that could have just a notch more muscle shape when we analyze her from behind, but a good, structurally sound female that is going to have a bright future for this young lady's operation. Let's give her a round of applause.
Talking with Jerry Michi as well. He's been in the sheep industry all of his life. And so, Jerry, did you ever have a chance to judge?
I've never been a judge. Like I said, I've been in the sheep business and had lambs sold. And we've had lambs here at Chippewa, Ladysmith, Medford, and all of project lambs. But no, I've never been a judge. I don't feel like I'm qualified. Maybe I am. I don't know.
All right. Well, we are going to, again, appreciate you joining us today. I'll let you enjoy the rest of the show.
Okay. Thank you much.
Jerry Michi.
Also a female that I mentioned before. I just really like this huge overall design, how relaxed she is in her spine, how free and easy moving she is for us. And again, she combines all that with enough muscle to make us happy and to produce some nice market lambs for this young lady. So let's give both these exhibitors a round of applause, but again, your champion will be the one that's closest to me.
Our champion, Hampshire, awarded to Macy Heike. Next in the ring, we'll have our Dorset winner ewe lambs. We have one entry, Urban Tuchel, and on deck will be our spring ewe lambs.
Again, watching coverage of the 2023 Northern Wisconsin State Fair Sheep Show. Later this afternoon at 1 o'clock, we'll have our beef cattle show.
Single Dorset entry here to attractive pieces, and I enjoyed watching her come out of her pen and into the center portion of the ring. One of the things we like best about this female is just how the curvature that she gives us to her rib cage, and just how round she is in her rib cage. She carries a tremendous amount of depth back to that rear flank. She's also a female that she's plenty wide to her rack and her loin and her hip, and so we appreciate her overall muscle shape. Really smooth through that breastplate. I just think a real sound female that has some capacity and muscle, and this young man can be very proud of what he's exhibiting today. So let's give him a round of applause and see if we have any more Dorsets coming into the ring for us. Blue ribbon awarded to Urban Tuchel. Next in the ring, we'll have a Dorset Spring Ewe Lamb exhibited by Urban Tuchel.
Thank you to our video streaming sponsors, including Chippewa Valley Energy, Wisconsin Credit Union, Provisions Health, Duran 24/7, and West Wisconsin Telecom, Pierce Pepin Co-op Services, Numbers Are Us, O'Galley Cheese Factory, Bluff Country Feed and Seed, Compeer Financial, and Synergy Co-op. Reminder that all of our livestock shows are saved on our YouTube channel at Duran Broadcasting, WRDN. So the hog show from yesterday, the swine show, that's been saved. The sheep show will be saved. It should propagate to the channel later on this afternoon. And we'll have the beef show later on this afternoon as well. And once the show is done, probably be late this evening. Tomorrow, don't forget, we have the dairy show at 8 and the livestock auction at 6 tomorrow night.
This younger Dorset ewe, she was one that struck me right when she came into the ring as being just a notch more elevated in that front 1/3 of her skeleton. And so I probably would classify her as being just the more extended made female that's a little bit taller at her shoulder, I think, even though she is a younger ewe. Definitely a ewe we like in terms of her soundness. She could be, relative to the ewe we had in her previously, just a notch bigger maybe in terms of her muscle shape, maybe just a little bit deeper in terms of her rear flank, but she does have more time to mature relative to the ewe that we had in her previous. So definitely deserving of a blue ribbon. Let's give this young man a round of applause and thank him for representing the Dorset breed. Okay, blue ribbon awarded to Urban Puschel. So we're going to pick our champion Dorset. So we'll need Urban, we'll need your other Dorsets out of the ring. We're going to go with the older Dorset female as your champion. I mentioned earlier just how I appreciate the roundness that she has to her rib cage, the depth that she gives to her rear flank, balances out really nice for her. And in all those traits I mentioned earlier, just in terms of the roundness of her body, the depth of her body, does make her, I think, truly a more feminine female, even though she's probably doesn't have the potential at the end of the day to be quite as tall at her shoulder and quite as extended to her front end relative to the younger ewe. So again, you on my left-hand side will be your champion, reserve champion female will be closest to me. Thanks for representing the Dorset breed. Okay, our champion and reserve champion Dorsets exhibited by Urban Puschel. Next in the ring, we'll have our Tunis winner Ram Lamb. Exhibited by Arabella Newt.
Your home for farm news and markets throughout the day is WRDN Radio. We do 7 hours of farm programming Monday through Friday. It starts off from 5 to 7 a.m. with the Morning Farm Report. I have farm news and markets, Bill Baker with Dairy News, Mike Pearson with Farm Progress America, plus some great classic country music, too. That's from 5 to 7 a.m. Hourly markets during the 9, 10, and 11 o'clock hours. We have our midday farm show at about 12:30, and then from 1 to 3, we have Agri Talk with Chip Flory. From 3 to 4, Mike Pearson with America on Agriculture. And Susan Littlefield during the 4 o'clock hour with the Fontenelle Final Bell. You can listen on 1430 AM stereo, 107.3 FM, and online at realcountry1430.com.
Great to see the Tunis breed being represented at the Northern Wisconsin State Fair. This is a breed that you just appreciate because they're quite unique, obviously, in terms of the color. They have some characteristics, I think, in my opinion, that somewhat resemble the Suffolk breed, just in terms of how clean-headed they are and how crisp they are at the points with the color that they do represent. This is a Tunis ram that we do really consider a lot of nice things about him. If you look at his neck-shoulder junction, his neck comes right out of the top of his shoulder. He's also a ram that when you look at him from the profile, I think he's quite parallel in terms of his lines. And just in general, a real level designed type of a sheep that's plenty square in terms of his hip shape when we view him on the profile. He is a ram. He analyzes testicular size relative to his age, and he's adequate there. He might have a tendency to have just a little bit of a split or division in that bottom side of his scrotum relative to what we consider to be a normal scrotal shape for a sheep. But I don't see any issues with him having fertility just based on his scrotal morphology that he does have. Like a lot of Tunises out there, not the heaviest muscle breed in the world that we do have, but I think he's definitely adequate. He gives us some width to his top, and I think he gives us some lower leg shape. But we're just simply not going to see the muscle mass in the Tunis like we would in our black-faced sheep or our Dorsets. But a real structurally sound individual that I think has a very bright future for the breed and for this young lady's program. Let's go ahead and give her a round of applause and thanks for representing the Tunis breed.
And our blue ribbon awarded to Arabella Knuth. Next to the ring, we'll have our Tunis yearling ewe, and on deck will be our Tunis winter ewe lamb. So in the ring, our Tunis yearling ewe.
If you're like me, one of the things that you noticed right when she came into the ring was just how long-spined and long-bodied she was, and definitely a characteristic that you appreciate about her. With all livestock, the longer spined or longer bodied we make them, but sometimes the harder it is to keep that spine nice and level, and we can see that also appearing in this yearling ewe, where she maybe tends to get just a little bit softer right behind her shoulder, doesn't transition from her rack back to her loin quite as well as some of the other sheep that we have out here. But that's being picky in the design characteristic that she has. Very tall-fronted, long-spined female, like we said. Good in terms of her structure. Definitely deserving of a blue ribbon, and we're sure to appreciate once again the Tunis breed being represented out here. Let's give her a round of applause.
Blue ribbon in this class awarded to Arabella Knuth. Next in the ring, we have a Tunis winner ewe lamb. And then we will pick our champion Tunis.
Watching coverage of the Northern Wisconsin State Fair Sheep Show from the Custer Coliseum. I'm Brian Winnekins from WRDN Radio. Thank you for joining us this morning. We'll have the beef show coming up this afternoon at 1 o'clock on our YouTube channel, also Facebook page and website at realcountry1430.com. Some of the things going on today at the Northern Wisconsin State Fair, along with the beef show at 1 o'clock. Now everything gets underway at 11 with our flag raising ceremony. Oh, Judge is going to give us his reasons. We'll step aside for him.
This is a Tunis female that just really does balance up well for us. I like just how she transitions from her forerib back to her rear flank, has that tendency to get progressively deeper for us. I think just in terms of her body shape, for me, she's just a notch more ideal relative to the yearling female that we have. I also like this ewe just when she's on the move. I do think she holds her spine together just a notch better for me relative to the yearling ewe. And I think if we can turn the clock ahead 1 year and take a look at her, I think she is going to be the female that does have some features in terms of just being a little bit bigger body, a little better in her underline. I like the fact too she's a little bit darker in her points relative to the yearling ewe. Just a real nice ewe lamb to be representing the Tunis breed. Let's give her a round of applause, and then we'll have the pleasure of picking your champion Tunis female.
Other things going on at the Northern Wisconsin State Fair today. The Wisconsin Shakespeare Festival starts at 3:30. Also, they'll be doing judging for beer, wine, and honey, and syrup at 4 o'clock.
That class awarded to Arabella Knuth. And next we'll bring back all our Tunis breeds, and we'll pick our champion Tunis.
On the main stage tonight, the Land and Kugel's main stage will be Hairball at 8 o'clock.
I'm going to select as your champion. I'm going to go with the female that's just a little sounder in terms of her rear leg structure. I like her body shape and body design and underline, and that's going to be your ewe lamb. So your Tunis ewe lamb will be your champion female. Your reserve champion Tunis female will be your yearling. Let's give them, again, a round of applause, and thanks so much for bringing the Tunis out here.
All right, and our champion Tunis breed awarded to Arabella Knuth. Next, we'll have our any other meat type winter ram lamb, and that is exhibited by Irvin Tuchel.
Thank you to our live streaming sponsors, including Alcivia Co-op, Security Financial Bank, Sunstrom & Company, Prime Realty of Durand, Adams Super Service Durand, N-Tech, and Dunn Energy. So again, thank you to all of our video streaming sponsors as well for making our video streams possible this week from the Northern Wisconsin State Fair.
Arabella, we're going to go ahead and pull your ram back out too and just have it aside, and we'll pick our champion ram.
So again, because he's in a separate class, in a separate breed division, the Shropshire Ram that's closest to me here, he has a lot of good pieces that this young man can be very proud of. He's a sheep that is very long spine, but at the same time, he has a tremendous amount of structural integrity with how he holds that spine together when he's on the move. Very big-footed, big-boned type of a ram as well. And when you analyze him through his front end, you just really appreciate how smooth-shouldered he is and how that neck comes right out of the top of his shoulder as well. In terms of his features of sexual maturity, he's plenty big in terms of his testicular size and well-developed there, and so I see no issues with him being able to breed an adequate number of females as we enter into the breeding season here in late summer. And I think, too, because of his features and just how well he represents the Shropshire breed, and again, I'm a black-faced breeder myself, and so I tend to be a little bit more partial towards the muscle shape and dimension from end to end that he possesses relative to our Tunis. And so I'm going to go with the Shropshire Ram as your champion ram here at the Northern Wisconsin State Fair. And your reserve champion ram then will be our Tunis Ram, which we can also say just a tremendous number of good things about. But a little bit of me being partial in terms of my breed preferences and just how I think these individuals stand among other individuals within their respective breeds. So let's give both these exhibitors a round of applause and thank them so much for bringing some breeding males out for us to evaluate and talk about some unique things that we look for in males relative to breeding females.
Okay, our overall champion ram lamb is awarded to Irvin Tuchel. And our reserve was Arabella Knuth. All right, next we'll move in our grade and crossbred yearling ewes. We have two exhibitors in that class, Josie Johnson and Brecken Brzezinski. We bring those animals out in the ring.
Watching coverage of the Northern Wisconsin State Fair Sheep Show from the Custer Coliseum this morning. I'm Brian Winnikins from WRDN Radio. Thank you for joining us this morning. Later on today, we'll have the beef show. Our coverage will begin at about 12:55 this afternoon. If you're a NASCAR fan, WRDN is your home for NASCAR coverage all season long. This weekend we'll be in New Hampshire. We'll have the Xfinity Series race coming up on Saturday afternoon. And then the NASCAR Cup Cran 301 will be on Sunday afternoon. You can listen to NASCAR all season long on WRDN and also on our website through our streaming audio at realcountry1430.com. Again, you can always listen online at realcountry1430.com, especially if you're from Chippewa County or northern Dunn County as well, or Rusk County, northern Eau Claire County as well. A little bit out of our over-the-air listening area, but you can listen online again at realcountry1430.com.
So for your crossbred yearling class, we're going to start with the young ladies yearling ewe that's on my left-hand side, a crossbred between really 3 different breeds as I visit with the exhibitors. So we have some Hampshire influence, we have some Suffolk, and then of course, if you look, she has kind of a mottled face or a speckle face, and that's coming from the Dorset breed that we have there. She is a female that does have just a notch more body condition on her, which does allow her to appear to be just a little bit smoother as she transitions from her shoulder into her cage and back to her hip. And part of the reason there is she's a ewe that did lamb for us last year, which we wouldn't necessarily expect her to have to lamb for us, but she is a ewe that didn't lamb at a year of age. Which is just fine, but that's in part, I think, why she does have a little bit more body condition on her. But she too is a ewe that's, like we said here earlier, just a little bit bigger in terms of her overall design, a little bit bigger in terms of her rib cage, a notch bigger in terms of her loin. The young man's more Suffolk appearing ewe that we have in second place. This is a ewe that is very big in terms of her rack shape. For me, though, relative to the other speckle-face ewe, she does have a tendency to get just a little bit flatter in her rib cage, and I would like to see that neck come more out of the top of her shoulder as opposed to the front of her shoulder, and so just some design features there. You'd say she is just a little bit lower in terms of her body condition relative to the first place ewe, and rightfully so. She's a ewe that did lamb and had a single for this young man, and so she's in production for him, and she's obviously doing her job to pay for her feed bill that she's going to accumulate over a year. And so just a ewe though too, we get behind her, we probably like to see her have just a little bit more leg muscle shape relative to some other black-faced sheep. But again, part of that too is just where she's sitting right now in terms of her condition. But 2 really nice yearling ewes that have a bright future for both of these individuals' operations. Let's give them a round of applause.
Our first blue in that class awarded to Josie Johnson, and our second blue awarded to Brecken Brzezinski. Next, we'll have our graded crossbred winner ewe lambs. We have 2 exhibitors, Julia Johnson and Arabella Knuth.
Thank you to our video stream sponsors, including Wisconsin Credit Union, Chippewa Valley Energy, Provisions Health of Durand, 24/7 and West Wisconsin Telecom, Pierce Pepin Cooperative Services, Numbers Are Us, O'Galley Cheese Factory, Bluff Country Feed and Seed, Compeer Financial, and Synergy Co-op. Please thank all of our sponsors. Give them a call, drop them an email, visit their business and tell them thank you for supporting our broadcasts, our video streams. Without their help, wouldn't be able to do today's video stream from the Northern Wisconsin State Fair. So please thank all of our sponsors for their support of our broadcast. Also thanks as well to the Northern Wisconsin State Fair, all of the staff that's helped us out, Rusty and Cindy Mike has helped us out a lot here, especially the Custer Coliseum, and so thank you to all of them as well for helping us out.
As they're just polling in line here, we'll say a few comments about them. The you we're going to start this class with you on my right-hand side, just the heavier, muscled, more powerfully made type of a female. We can see some of the same unique design features that we had in this U on my left-hand side is what we've spoke favorably of in some previous classes. We do like just how high-chested this female is, the curvature that she has to her rib cage, and just the roundness that she has in her body shape. Also, just a tremendously heavy muscle female. Really handles well through a rack going and hip, and to get behind her, and I like the muscle shape. And she puts it together in a very structurally sound package, and she moves throughout the ring with quite free and easy moving relative to maybe some other sheep that we've had in the ring here earlier today. A female that we have here in second place is just very, very similar, actually, in terms of her type and kind. We can say a lot of the same things. We just like how wide she is through her chest floor, how round-bodied she is, how big she is, particularly in her loin and hip relative to her overall frame size. She does maybe, though, relative to our class winner, get just a notch narrower in terms of her inset. Isn't quite as big in her leg shape. Isn't also quite as big in terms of her foot size and bone width. So she doesn't even have those bold features relative to our class winner that we do have. But two nice crossbred females that both of these exhibitors can be proud of. Let's thank them and give them a round of applause for bringing their livestock out here for us to evaluate today.
Our first blue in that class awarded to Arabella Knuth, and our second blue awarded to Julia Johnson. Next, we'll have our graded crossbred spring ewe lambs. We have 5 exhibitors in this class: Irvin Tuchel, Avery Bovey, Whitney Goldman, Josie Johnson, and Emmett Pratt.
Watching coverage of the 2023 Sheep Show from the Northern Wisconsin State Fair from the Custer Coliseum. I'm Brian Winnekins from WRDN Radio.
On the class before, first place blue is Arabella Knuth, and second place blue is Julia Johnson.
If you're coming out to the Northern Wisconsin State Fair, stop by our booth in Building C. I can learn a little bit more about the station and get one of our farm programming guides as well. They'll tell you when all of our farm programs are on throughout the day. We have 7 hours of farm programming. Plus, you could win $500. How? Pretty simple. Just tell us why you listen. We'll have you fill out a survey of why do you listen to the radio. And if you fill that out, you'll go into that drawing and you could win $500 from the National Association of Farm Broadcasting. So come on out and visit us at the Northern Wisconsin State Fair in Building C. That's where we'll be at all week long. As the fair opening up in earnest today. Of course, things got underway last night with our hog show, but everything is going to be getting underway starting at about 11 o'clock with our flag raising ceremony.
get a photo taken with your animal, make sure you do that on the northeast corner of the Coliseum here. You can get your picture taken with your animal.
This next class of crossbred females we have in the ring, we do have a nice big-bodied female that has a slightly earlier maturing appearance to her that we're going to use to start the class with. But very round in terms of her body shape. Also gives us a lot of depth as she transitions from that forerib back to her rear flank. Easily the female is just the biggest in terms of her top shape and center portion of her leg. But she also puts that together in terms of quite well in terms of her structural soundness with her pose point in the forward direction and the neck coming right over the top of her shoulders. I think the female that's probably most similar to her in terms of her overall design and her muscularity is the female that we do have in second place. She's also a female that's just a notch more extended. She's a little bit taller on her shoulder, a little bit higher in that chest floor for us. And those are some things that really did make me for a while think, well, maybe she's new, we should start the class with. But she doesn't have quite as much muscle shape as we read her down her top and through that center portion of her leg relative to the class winner. And so because of the fact that she's just not quite as heavy muscled, we're going to put her in second here today. The youth that we have in third, I think she's the next logical placing female just from a muscle standpoint. Again, you look at her through her chest floor relative to the ewes that we have in fourth and fifth, and she gives us just a notch more width there. She gives us a notch more curvature to her rib, a notch more width, I think specifically through her hip and hind leg relative to the ewes that we have in fourth and fifth. And so again, I think a logical third. The ewe that we have in fourth, this is a female that's easily the most extended, most attractive, most striking female as we look at her from the side. Very tall shouldered, very long spine, very good in terms of her feet and leg structure. She's up on her pasterns and those feet point forward for us. For me, I think though for a crossbred black-faced ewe, she gets just a little too flat in terms of her rib cage. She gets just a little bit too flat in terms of her muscle design. And I would like her to be just a little bit bigger in terms of her rack muscle shape and lower leg shape when you compare to ewes 1 through 3. The ewe that we're going to use to round the class up with here today, the smallest statured female that just simply does need a little bit more time on feed, I think, to compete with the top 4 individuals in the class. She is, though, a very, very sound female, very similar to the other females that this young lady's brought in the ring for us earlier today, but doesn't have quite as much muscle shape to her when we analyze her through her rack, loin, and hip relative to the top 4 individuals. And for that reason, we're going to use her to round up the class. But all females that have a very bright future for these young individuals' operations, and there's no perfect sheep, and we just have to continue to find those pieces that can add to our flock and complement our flock as we move forward. So let's give these exhibitors a round of applause. What a pleasure to evaluate this class of crossbred sheep.
Our first blue in this class awarded to Irvin Kuschel, and our second blue awarded to Emmett Freck. Next in the ring, we'll have our graded crossbred mature ewes, and then we will pick our champion graded crossbred after that. I have 4 animals in this class. I have Julia Johnson, Josie Johnson, and 2 from Brecken Brzezinski.
Watching coverage of the 2023 Northern Wisconsin State Fair Sheep Show today from the Custer Coliseum. I'm Brian Winnikins from WRDN Radio. We'd like to welcome you to the Northern Wisconsin State Fair. watching via our Facebook page, YouTube channel, or website as well. And our show will also be saved on our YouTube channel. It'll propagate to the channel here as a saved file later on this afternoon. Also this afternoon, we will have coverage of the beef show as well, with coverage beginning at about 12:55 this afternoon. Tomorrow we'll have the dairy show bright and early at 8 o'clock. And then at 6 o'clock on Thursday, we'll have the Northern Wisconsin State Fair livestock auction as well. We'll have coverage of that, again, on our YouTube channel, website, and Facebook page. And everything here at the fair will begin at about 11 o'clock this morning. We'll have the flag raising ceremony on the Leinenkugels main stage tonight, by the way. Will be hairball, gates opening up at 7 o'clock, and the concert starting at 8 o'clock this evening. Some of the other things going on, there'll be a state-sanctioned pedal tractor pull near the Leinenkugel Pavilion from 1 to 3 this afternoon. Also, we have pig, duck, and goat races in the animal racing area. That'll be at 1:45 and 4:30, and also at 7 o'clock tonight. We have our decision from our judge.
So a very interesting crossbred yearling class for us to evaluate. Definitely have some differences here just in terms of the overall design of all the sheep that we have in here. So it'll be a fun class for us to talk about. But I think the ewe that possesses the most structural integrity for us, the best balanced ewe, I think the ewe that really ties things together for us the best in terms of her front end design is going to be the ewe that we start the class with. I just really like how this ewe comes out, and she's nice and tight in her scapula for us. I like how she transitions from her shoulder to her cage back to her hip for us. With being tucked up enough in her chest floor, and it gets progressively deeper as we transition back to her rear flank. She's the ewe too that, for me, I think she's the most structurally sound. She holds that spine together best for me on the move. I like her rear leg structure the best in terms of her hock placement, and we just analyzed the soundness of her rear leg relative to some of the other females that we have out here. The ewe that we have in second, definitely the pounds heavier, biggest frame ewe that we have in the class, and a ewe that's just tremendously big body, a big topped ewe. I think a female that's maybe even a little bit more rugged in terms of her makeup and bigger in terms of her foot size. If we could change this female, though, I would like her to be just a little bit smoother in her front end design, be just a notch stronger right behind her shoulder for me relative to the first place ewe. I think, too, she could be a female that'd be just, we'd like to pick her up in terms of her pin set and make her just a little bit leveler hipped relative to the ewe that we're going to start the class with here today. But she's definitely the big-bodied, rugged-made female that we do have in here, just not quite as feminine and well-balanced relative to our class winner. The ewe that we have in third, this is a ewe that did land for this exhibitor this past year, and she is a more extended, taller fronted type of a female. I would like to see her with a little bit more body condition on her, in the sense that she'd have just a slightly smoother appearance, and I think she'd transition better for us from her loin up to her hip. And I think with that more body condition, we're also going to add overall muscle mass relative to ewes 1 and 2 in this particular class. But again, the more extended, longer spined ewe, but still has some balance and eye appeal as that ewe in third. And then we end up with just a really nice, complete female that we're going to use to round this class up with. She's a female that we like just how how level she is. She's quite long from her hooks to her fins relative to some of the other females that we have out here. Again, like the ewe that we have in second place, arguably one of the more rugged made females in terms of her foot size and her bone dimension that she does possess. She does get just a little bit out horse though in terms of her muscle shape that she possesses in her back and in terms of her loin. She does have a tendency to get just a little bit deep in her chest floor relative to her rear flank, and so we kind of like to make that the opposite in terms of tucking up her chest floor and having her get progressively deeper just from a design standpoint. But 4 very nice sheep that are going to continue to have very productive lives for these exhibitors. Let's thank them for bringing out the yearling crossbred ewes. It's been a pleasure to evaluate them.
Our first blue in that class awarded to Brecken Brzezinski, and our second blue awarded to Julia Johnson. Next, we're going to pick our champion graded crossbred. So if you had a first place blue graded crossbred, we'll need your animal back in the ring. That will include Brecken Brzezinski, Irvin Kuschel, Arabella Knuth, Josie Johnson, in terms of her muscle shape and roundness of her body. Again, maybe just a notch on the early maturing side relative to the other females in here. But I think when it comes to producing competitive market lambs and just lambs that will go into the feedlot or hang at carcass that are going to have a relatively high percentage of boneless, closely trimmed retail cuts, that's going to be this young man's ewe here. This will be your reserve champion female. So congratulations. And congratulations to all our exhibitors. We just have a tremendous set of crossbred females and great females out here today. And so even the exhibitors that didn't come back into the ring, thanks so much for bringing your sheep here and letting us evaluate them. Okay, our champion graded crossbred awarded to Arabella Knuth, and our reserve champion graded crossbred awarded to Irvin Kuschel. Next, we'll pick our champion overall on breeding stock. So we will need back out Wyatt Goldman, your winner ewe, Macy Heitke, your winner, Irvin Kuschel, your winner Hamp, Arabella Knuth, your winner ewe, Tunis, and then Arabella, your winner Parade.
When do you want the Supreme Championship? Do you want to mark it in the overall, or do you want just those to be given kind of right now? Okay, but for the banners overall? Okay. You are good.
All right, championship drive underway here in our sheep show. As exhibitors come out.
Our overall champion, our breeding stock, will give the exhibitors about 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes to switch gears. We're going to bring our market animals in. So we'll take a little break, and then we have 3 young ladies that are representing various organizations with agricultural leadership, and we'll give them a few minutes to introduce themselves in the arena.
Thank you to our video streaming sponsors, including Alcivia Co-op, Security Financial Bank, Sundstrom & Company, Durand at Prime Realty of Durand, Adams Super Service, Durand Tech, and Dunn Energy.
Views for us to evaluate as our breed champions, and there's so many nice things we can say about each one of the females that we do have out here, and I think all these females represent the breed.
The batteries went dead on the microphone.
But all of them represent their respective breeds quite well for us. There is one female, though, that I think just excels in terms of her body shape, in terms of how well balanced she is, in terms of her muscle, and that's going to be our grade female over here on the side. She's going to be your champion overall female. I was asked if you want to bring in a reserve champion from that division and compare that to the reserve champion overall, and I said no, just because I have a good enough figure on that I know what she looks like and how she compares to the other females out here. And so your reserve champion female will come from this particular group that we have out here. There is one female that I said a lot of good things about when she was representing her breed earlier. She's the high-chested, long spine, very level design female that's just almost flawless in terms of her structural soundness, and that's going to be your champion. She'll be your reserve champion overall female. So congratulations to all the group exhibitors. Thanks so much for giving us some variety to evaluate. If you do have an interest in any of the breeds that we did have out here today, I just would strongly urge you to visit with the exhibitors of those breeds as we continue our time here at the Northern Wisconsin State Fair. So thanks again. Sure was a pleasure to have you.
Okay, our overall champion for our breeding stock is awarded to Arabella Knuth, and our reserve champion breeding stock, Macy Hedke. We're going to give our exhibitors a few minutes to bring their animals back. We're going to come back and start with our market animals. And right now I'm going to hand the microphone over to we have 3 young ladies who have taken their leadership in agriculture to the next level. And I'm going to have them go in the ring and introduce themselves.
Okay, everyone, I'll make this quick. My name is Hannah Timpedino, and I'm the 2023 Northern Wisconsin State Fair Fairst of the Fair. With me, I have Allie Lehman, who is the 2023 Northern Wisconsin State Fairst of the Fair attendant. And I want to just thank everybody for coming here to the fair, and let's have a wonderful first day. However, I have a special guest with me here today, and I'll let her introduce herself.
Hello, my name is Brooke Whitrack with the Bloomer FFA chapter, and I'm serving Section 1 as our state FFA sentinel this year. And just like she said, thank you all for coming.
I just didn't know what Bob was.
Yes, please.
There you go, sir. You bet.
Again, we're having a bit of a break here, and we will start with our market animals here in just a couple minutes, so stick around as we continue our sheep show here at the Northern Wisconsin State Fair.
August milk up 10 to 15.33. September up 13 to 16 at 41. October down 5 to 17 at 40. November up steady at 17 at 46. Meanwhile, live cattle markets, they are moving up mostly higher in the live cattle side. The feeder cattle moving mostly lower due to strength in the grain markets. Some of the strength in some of the cash markets helping to support prices. Hog markets continue to move mostly higher as purchase cattle values continue to move higher, and that supports markets. August live cattle up 40 cents to 179.25. August feeder cattle down 42 cents to 246.65. July hogs up 95 cents to 102.22. Chicago trade corn, soybeans, and wheat all moving mostly higher. As the USDA crop report coming up, expectations of lower soybean acres means lower soybean yield and lower soybean crop in general, and that's helping with double-digit gains once again in the soybean markets. That's pulling corn. Also, higher wheat markets are mostly mixed. Rates still watching the situation with the increasing tensions between Russia and Ukraine. New crop corn up 1 3/4 to 5 over 3 3/4. New crop beans up 13 1/4 to 18.73 3/4. Chicago wheat to September down 6 1/2. From the Northern Wisconsin State Fair, I'm Brian White.
Catherine Lane and Arthur Lane, if you're in the show arena, Coliseum, can you come up to the announcing table? Okay, it looks like our exhibitors are ready to roll. We're going to get into our market animals. These are the animals that are going to be up for sale in the auction tomorrow night. And we're going to start out with our ultralights. These animals range from 95 to 104 pounds. We have 5 exhibitors in this class. We have Abigail Sikora, Sophie Frazier, Kinsley Brzezinski, Cassie Luke, and Wyatt Frazier. You can bring your animals out in the ring.
All right, we're now into our market animals here at the Northern Wisconsin State Fair and the Sheep Show. So these are the animals that will be in the auction tomorrow night. So this will be a little bit bigger show than our breeding stock show.
Lightweight market class, lambs weighing 95 to 104 pounds. Our next class will be lambs, market lambs that weigh 110 to 117 pounds. And those animals should be in the holding area. We have Aubrey Wilcom, Cassie Luke, Avery Bovey, Natalie Zwizinski, Irvin Tuchel, Wyatt Gotham, Blake Sikora, Cheyenne Normo. Those animals all should be in the holding area. Nice lightweight weather to start this class, but he's an individual that
in this class here, I think he's the tallest in his shoulder. He's also the longest in his neck. A real long, level spine type of sheep. It's not necessarily what brings him to the top of the class, though. I think it's that combination of balance and eye appeal and his overall muscularity that he does possess. He is a sheep that's just tremendously wide from his last rib to that core portion of his hip. And I think if you analyze that upper portion of his hip, it's really he's really wide through that upper portion, and he carries that whip down to the ground. If you watch him as he tracks, he's really wide tracking. And I think too, an individual that maintains that skeletal whip, adds some muscularity on top of it, and also just the most balanced individual that we do have out here. I think the sheep that has been fed to have just a little bit more muscle shape to him is the lamb that we have in second. He's an individual that is just a little bit bigger in his rack and his loin. I think, too, he's had that nutritional environment to where he can possess and exhibit just a little bit more lower leg shape for us relative to our class winner. But part of the reason we see that more lower leg shape in our second individual is just simply because he's an individual that's also just a little bit more moderate in terms of his overall frame size. But if I was going to change this weather and make him a class winner for us here today, I'd like him to be just a little higher chested, a little taller at the top of his shoulder, maybe square up his hip just a little bit, and make him a little bigger in terms of his foot size and his overall bone work, and he transition to the top of the class for us here today. The young lady that we have here in third with this weather, I think he probably has a skeletal design that's quite similar to our class winner, but it just simply doesn't exhibit the overall muscle shape for me relative to animals 1 and 2 in the ring here today. I'd also like to make him just a little bit bigger in terms of his foot size, a little bit more rugged in terms of his overall makeup, and that lower 1/3 of his leg, I think, relative to particularly the lamb that we have in second, he just needs to be a little bit bigger and more expressive there. A very moderate-framed individual, arguably small-framed individual that we have here in 4. This is a sheep that I like her, in terms of how round she is in her cage. I think she maintains some width to that loin and down through that hip for us, but doesn't give me quite as much extension up through that front end relative to lambs 1, 2, and 3 in this particular class. And I think an individual that if we could make it just a little bit later maturing in terms of its skeletal package, it also handle just a notch trimmer and be a little bit better yielding relative to lambs 1, 2, and 3. The lamb that has just a really nice design, it has some ruggedness to its bone work, is the lamb that we have here in 5th today. Just an individual that we needed to push the feed to a little bit more. Part of the lamb that we were offering him about 4.5 pounds of grain per day as we progressed throughout the summer and made sure that he was eating all that feed. He'd be right up there at an acceptable market weight for us and would compete quite well. But just not quite as much feed put into this lamb as what we need to see. But the design to this lamb, the bone work of this lamb, all has some really good things that we can say about it. So let's give all these exhibitors a round of applause. Really just a pleasure to be here.
Our first blue in that class awarded to Abigail Sikora, and our second blue awarded to Wyatt Frazier. Next we'll have our market lambs that range from 110 to 117 pounds.
Watching coverage of the Northern Wisconsin State Fair Sheep Show from the Custer Coliseum. Brian Winnekins with you from WRDN Radio. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to those of you watching on YouTube, also on our Facebook page, and also our website at realcountry1430.com. Thank you to our video stream sponsors, including Wisconsin Credit Union, Chippewa Valley Energy, Provisions Health at 24/7 and West Wisconsin Telecom. Also, Pierce Pepin Cooperative Services, Numbers Are Us, O'Galley Cheese Factory, Bluff Country Feed and Seed, Compeer Financial, and Synergy Co-op. Please thank all of our sponsors as well. Give them a call, drop them an email, visit their business. Please tell them thank you for supporting our video stream broadcasts. Also, thank you to the Northern Wisconsin State Fair as well for having us here at the Custer Coliseum this year. Visit us at our booth if you're coming out to the fair over the weekend and over the week. Visit us at Building C to our booth, and you can find out about our farm programming. We have farm program guides. We have also find out how you can win $500 as well. Just visit our booth in Building C at the Northern Wisconsin State Fair.
We should have our market lambs that weigh 119 to 130 pounds. And we should have Emmett Breck, Arabella Knuth, Arthur Lang, Josie Johnson, Julian Johnson, Chester Lang, and Macy Henke. Those animals should be in the holding area. In the ring, we have our market animals 110 to 117 pounds. Just remember to our exhibitors, if you have a market lamb, you will be required to get a picture with your market lamb. You can do that on the northeast corner of the Coliseum here by the banner. Natural color lamb that we have to start this class with. The individual is probably one of the best sheep that we've had earlier today, just in terms of the integrity of the spine and the levelness up to his hip. I think, too, an individual that we like him in terms of his feet and leg structure, in addition to his spine structure. Toes point forward, tracks around the ring for us really nicely. Really transitions smoothly from his shoulder back to his rib cage and into his hip as well. Those are all nice design features and functional features that he possesses from a structural standpoint. But in addition to that, he's the sheep out here that's just the widest, driest, and squarest in terms of his loin shape, the biggest in terms of his rack, and he also handles the most crisp and clean through that foreportion of his rib, and as he handles on his top. And so I think he's going to be the individual that will yield the best for us. When taken to the rail, he'll give a heavy muscle carcass that will be relatively trim.
pondered for a long time. We take the Dorset appearing brother and we start the class with him. He's an individual that's a little bit rounder in terms of his rib cage. He's an individual that is maybe just a notch deeper in that rear flank for us. As a Dorset, we'd expect him to be just a little bit earlier maturing in his makeup and start to deposit fat just a little bit sooner for us. And sure enough, that is what he does. He does have just a notch more fat thickness to him relative to our class winner. And so I don't think he's going to be quite as good from a yield grade standpoint, but he does have some very unique design features and a really unique body type in terms of how big he is, particularly in that center portion of his body. Very heavy muscled sheep, very square-made sheep as well. For me, though, it does come down to that fat thickness difference that he does possess. He's also just a little bit more prominent in that breastbone for us relative to our class leader as well. But two really nice sheep to start this particular class out with. We then have the more somewhat appearing lamb that we're going to have here in third. And this individual just handles like a rock. He's just real big and hard-handled in terms of his back and his bone and his hip. Some of that comes from the way he's being exhibited. He's got an experienced showman that does a nice job getting the most out of this. But even without that, we analyze the shape and the largest relative to the other individuals that we have out here through his hip and through that center portion of his leg. And so that's why we're going to play that third and keep him up there as opposed to moving him further down. I think a lamb that has just a tremendous amount of potential but just needs a little bit more feed push to him is the lamb that we have in the fourth. I like the integrity this individual has in terms of his feet and leg structure, his overall spine, and the levelness that he has to his hip. I think with a few more pounds of feed per week as we progress throughout the summer here, he would have more muscularity to move further into the class of the day, and that's just one of the things that is really holding him back here today. The young lady's lamb that we have here on the is an individual that I switched right at the end. It's an individual that's real trimmed and I think nice and crisp up to its back. The reason we moved it here into fifth as opposed to fourth is it just simply doesn't have that muscularity to its top as what we see in the fourth place lamb. The ewe lamb that we have here in sixth, this is a ewe that I like how tight she is up in her scapula. She comes together there for us nicely from a structure standpoint, which is good. But both this ewe and the weather that we're used to round the cross up with here, they just get a little bit frailer in terms of their makeup, a little bit flatter in terms of their muscle shape, and we'd like to take that rib cage and make it just a notch rounder, drop them down in that rear flank relative to some of the other sheep that we have out here. But a really nice set of market lambs that are eligible in terms of overall weight for all these exhibitors to share with us today. Let's give them a round of applause. It sure was a pleasure to the gallery.
Our first blue in that class awarded to Natalie Lazuski, and our second blue to Urban Tuchel. Congratulations.
Watching coverage of the sheep show from the Northern Wisconsin State Fair, and joining us right now, Brooke Whitrock. She is the Section 1 FFA Sentinel, and she's kind of doing double duty here. She's handing out the ribbons, but we managed to get her to come on over here and join us here for a couple of minutes. And Brooke, thanks for joining us. You just graduated from Bloomer High School?
Yes.
Okay. So where are you going to be heading to now for college?
I'll be heading to the University of Wisconsin River Falls, and I'll be majoring in agricultural education.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this is something that you're going to be heavily involved with as time goes on.
Yes.
What have you liked best about FFA?
My favorite part of FFA is to just grow and see where your next goal can take you. You can really start, you're in 7th grade or even 5th grade now, and by the time you're a senior, you've progressed in your skills so much.
What are some of the things that you think you've progressed over your career in FFA?
One of my favorite things about FFA is we have these things called leadership development events, or LDEs, and they're speaking contests to grow your leadership skills, and I participated in extemporaneous speaking, so I learned how to speak on the fly. Talking with
Brooke Whitrock, Section 1 Sentinel for the FFA. So, in your FFA career, were you out in the ring showing a lot?
No, I'm actually a non-traditional ag student. So I grew up in the city, which I think it's important to talk about.
Yeah.
That there's a lot of kids in FFA or even just that end up in the agriculture industry that didn't grow up on a farm. And I think that's a really important part of what I'm doing here is just showing, yes, you can do it even if you didn't grow up on a farm.
Did any of your other FFA members at Bloomer High School say, come on, why don't you join us in the ring?
Yeah, my advisor actually tried to talk me into showing sheep this year, but with my state office schedule, it just didn't work out.
Well, again, congratulations now, and good luck at River Falls. Now, they do have college FFA. Are you going on to that too or not?
So the membership, yes, you can be an alumni member after you graduate high school, and anyone, even if you weren't an FFA in high school, is welcome to join the alumni, and I will definitely be participating in that.
All right, Brooke, well, again, thanks for joining us. I know you got to get back to work. We're going to be handing out more ribbons. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Brooke Whitrock, she's the Section 1 Sentinel for the state FFA here at the Northern Wisconsin State Fair, our sheep show, which continuing. We're in our market classes right now.
Chester Lang, Olivia Hedke, Macy Hedke, Julia Johnson, and Wyatt Gotham. Those animals should be on deck for market class number 4.
That just simply gives us the highest percentage of boneless, closely trimmed retail cuts. And in the live show here today, he's also an individual, like I said, just the best balanced and most eye-appealing from the side. Really big and expressive in that rack and loin. He is the lamb that's the biggest in terms of that upper side of his hip and through his pins. When you look at him from behind, he's the biggest there. I also think he is the individual that's truly the biggest in terms of his foot size. He did have some of his leg roll removed, which I think if left on, it would be given that additive benefit of being just a little bit more rugged in terms of his appearance, which is a real ideal trait that we truly try to select for. But he's the lamb that gives us that combination of muscle, trimness, balance, and eye appeal, which allows him to gravitate towards the top of his class. A lamb that I really like, just in terms of how big and massive he is in his loins, this white pelted lamb that we have here in the second. I think also an individual that's big and bold in terms of his hip shape. I think he's definitely adequate in terms of his overall rear leg shape. Not quite as big, though, when we compare him to the class winner that we have out here. I think from a balance standpoint, we kind of describe him as a more moderate, vague, really well-balanced individual that we really like in terms of that fourth portion of his rib. When you look at that fourth portion of his rib, he still has some curvature, but then he's tucked up, and you look at him from the profile, and he gets progressively deeper as we work from his forehead back to his rear flank. Where I get just a little bit concerned with this guy is I like him relative to our class winner to be a little bit bigger and expressive in terms of his back shape. Relative to our class winner, I'd like to see him track wider for us. And maybe you noticed it watching just ringside, he does have a tendency to bring his pots in just a little bit for us relative to our class winner. I'd like to widen him out there, make him a wider skeleton, and really bigger in terms of his actual foot size that hits the ground relative to our class winner. The lamb that we have in third, I think he's kind of the next logical fit that we have in terms of being that real round body type of a sheep. I think he's spot on in terms of his degree of finish. Also a very level design type of a sheep. He just doesn't get quite as big and expressive in that lower leg shape relative to lambs 1 and 2 in this class. I also think relative to our class winner in particular, he's just not quite as big in terms of his rack shape, which gives us an indication just in terms of how large that ribeye is going to be when these lambs are taken to the rail. But a very nice, well-balanced lamb that's presented well, fed well. I think the young ladies of wether that we have here in fourth, this is a sheep that he gets just a little bit longer in terms of his neck and a little bit more extended in terms of his front end relative to the other individuals that we have out here. And he does that in a way that still allows him to maintain some muscle mass from end to end. And so a really unique design type of a lamb, I would say. I like how square he is in the edges of his loin. I like how smooth he transitions from his loin to his hip. All very, very positive traits. Where he gets outforced here today, unfortunately, is we'd like to take that lower leg shape and give just a little bit more bulge and muscle mass when compared to lambs 1, 2, and 3 in this particular class. We'd also like to give him just a little bit more curvature to that fourth portion of his rib relative to 1, 2, and 3 in this class. But a lamb that's been fed well is being presented well. As is the ewe lamb with the black spot on her here that we have in fifth. This is a ewe lamb very, very, very similar to the lamb that we had in third in terms of her overall body shape. But as a ewe lamb, ewes, relative to wethers, tend to deposit fat earlier in life. And she has that earlier maturing ewe-type handle to her in a class of wethers, and that does give her just a little bit of a disadvantage. She is taking and putting on just a little bit more fat in the fourth portion of her rib, which leads me to believe that she's probably not going to give us as good of a numerical yield grade as the lambs that we use further up the line. We have two wethers here that are very similar in their type of hide, and two wethers that we can say some really nice things about in terms of how functional they are from a structure standpoint. I think two wethers that hold their spines together well, they're good in their neck-shoulder junction, but at the same time, they're two wethers that we would like to see them be just a little higher chested. We'd like to see them be a little rounder to their rib cage. We'd like to see them be a little bit deeper flanked and just a little bit bulgier, if you like, or a little bit rounder in their muscle pattern, which would give us an indication that at the same time they're going to hang carcass in a larger ribeye area relative to the other individuals. And so some things we'd like to change about them, some things they do real well, but all very functional lambs. You can look at this class as it's standing here. You can tell all these lambs have been fed well, they're being exhibited well. Hats off to all these exhibitors. Let's give them a round of applause and we'll bring that next class in.
Our first blue in that class awarded to Emmett Breck, and our second blue awarded to Arabella Knuth. Congratulations. Next in the ring, we'll have our market class lambs, 131 to 135 pounds. We should have Josie Johnson, Colton Luke, Elizabeth Raychek, Aubrey Wilcom, Chester Lang, Olivia Heitke, Macy Heitke, Julia Johnson, and Wyatt Botham.
We have with us today Brooke Whitrock from the Bloomer FFA as a state officer. And just to give you a little background information related to being a state officer, once elected, they go through an extensive leadership training in preparation for their year of service. They also plan and develop a series of leadership workshops for the 10 sections throughout the state of Wisconsin. They travel approximately 8,000 miles throughout their year serving Wisconsin FFA Association. In July, they will be traveling to Washington, D.C. to the State FFA Officer Summit. They will be reviewing national FFA delegate information, meeting with key leaders, and conversing with state FFA officers from throughout the United States. So let's thank our state FFA officer representation.
those these wonderful gentlemen.
Watching coverage of the 2023 Northern Wisconsin State Fair Sheep Show. Brian Winnekins with you from the Custer Coliseum as where our judges making his placements here in this class. Reminder that your home for farm news and markets throughout the entire day is WRDN. We have 7 hours of farm programming Monday through Friday. It all kicks off with the WRDN Morning Farm Report from 5 to 7 a.m. I have farm news and markets. Bill Baker with dairy news. Mike Pearson with some national farm news as well. Plus, we have some great classic country music, too. And that's the WRDN Morning Farm Report from 5 to 7 a.m. Then we have hourly markets during the 9, 10, and 11 o'clock hour. Our afternoon midday farm report at about 12:30. From 1 until 3, Chip Flory is in with Agri Talk with the latest news and issues affecting rural America and also the markets. And then from 3 until 4, it's Mike Pearson with America on Agriculture. During the 4 o'clock hour, Susan Littlefield is in with the final bell with a wrap-up of the markets
While our judges,
on the day.
Finishing up in this class, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce our judge today, Mr. Justin Luthers, a University of River Falls professor. He comes with many experience on showing sheep, judging sheep, and also the production side of embryos of sheep. He also helps at River Falls youth and livestock areas and does the livestock coaching. So let's give our judge a really warm welcome and thank God. I also want to take this opportunity to thank our FFA advisors for helping us manage our paperwork for the show. So all FFA advisors for our county are here, so let's give them guys a round of applause. We also have some photographers that are helping out today taking pictures, so we want to thank those guys as also, please. Thank you.
Just a really nice class for us to evaluate, and I just want to commend all of our exhibitors that are in the ring right now for having good control over their sheep. Also at the same time, lining them up in a way, as you can see right now, to where they're all at the same distance from me in the ring, so they make a straight line. And that's so important from a showmanship standpoint. It shows that you have control over your animals as you're out here, and it also just represents the sheep show here at the Northern Wisconsin State Fair so well. You can line them all up so nicely, and we give the audience a good view of them. And it speaks a lot for you. It speaks a lot for your fair, and it's just really positive to see how well everybody's doing out here. The lamb we're going to use to start this class with, he's quite unique in the sense that he's a very tall-fronted individual. He's tall at the top of his shoulder, and he's also a very long-spined individual. And he gives us a little bit more set to his leg when we evaluate him relative to the second-place lamb. And what that does is it allows him to squat when he gets put on a brace. It keeps his front end up nice and high. And so he just is very attractive to look at on the profile. From a design standpoint, if we could change him, I'd like to take his rear flank and drop it down probably about 4 inches relative to the lamb that we have in second place today. And I just think he would balance up a little bit better for us on the profile, even though he is still that real tall-shouldered lamb that's square in his hip, and he's got a good set to his rear leg for us. Those design features aside, he's the individual that in this class that is the biggest in his loin, he's the biggest in his hip, and I do think that when taken to the rail, he'll give us the highest numerical leg score. And so not only is he an attractive design sheep, he's also a sheep that's going to do well, I think, from a carcass standpoint. The lamb that we do have in second, again, this is where I really have to think, the most in this particular particular class. The lamb in second is an individual that is bigger in terms of his rack muscle shape, and so that leads me to believe that he's going to be very comparable in terms of his ribeye size relative to the lamb that we have in first. I also like the fact that he's a little bit more tucked up in terms of his forerib, and he does progress just a little bit better towards his rear flank when you look at him on the profile. Very square-made, structurally sound individual. He's not quite as rugged and big in terms of his bone work. He doesn't track quite as wide for us when he's on the move. And again, that was another reason why we put him second as opposed to in the first place for this particular class. But two really nice lambs to start this class out with. The young lady's lamb that we have here in third, this is an awfully impressive individual. We handle him through his rack. I like how big and expressive he is there. I like how big and expressive he is in his loin and through his hip, and he still has that curvature and bulge to that inner portion of his leg, and a very structurally sound individual. You look at him as he stands right here, his toes point forward. He's got a good set to his top. He's really square on all four corners. And so from a structure standpoint, a really nice lamb. I think we could argue that the lamb that we have here in fourth, he's maybe just a little bit more relaxed in terms of his loin and his spine. I think, too, he's an individual that transitions extremely well from his loin to his hip. He's probably an individual, though, that if we were going to say which one of these lambs could use a little bit of an exercise program, he's probably that one, where we could push him a little bit from an exercise standpoint, he can a little harder muscle, and that in combination with potentially some changes to his diet, we could really see him being maximized in terms of the amount of muscle shape and how hard or angling he really could be. But an awfully nice designed lamb that we have here in fourth place. The fifth place lamb, these two, a very nice designed lamb. He comes together real nice and tight up in his scapula, and that spine comes right out of the top of his shoulders. We like how he balances from the profile. From a feet and leg standpoint, I'd like him to have just a notch more set to his high. And I think that way, as this young lady would come into him and put him on a brace, he'd squat his rear, and we'd get to see just a little bit more bulge to that lower one-third of his leg, which is really where he's at fault here today. He does not give us the lower leg shape relative to lambs 1 through 4 in this particular class, and so we just simply had to bring him here into fifth place. I think the lamb that's very impressive in terms of his handle, he's going to provide us with a carcass that's very trim and very heavy muscle, is going to be your natural colored lamb out here. He's an individual that is very big and expressive in terms of his rack shape. I like how big he is in terms of his hip. I'd like to see him, however, be squarer in terms of his hip shape. I'd like to see him, too, be just a little cleaner through the shoulder, be a little smoother in that neck-shoulder junction, and be just a little bit higher chested, particularly relative to the fifth place lamb that we have out here today. But a good carcass lamb that this young man has managed well, and he should do quite well as we take him to the rail. I think the lamb that's probably one of the more unique individuals in terms of his overall design and how he is relatively high-chested and relatively round-rib is the young lady's lamb here with the peach-colored plaid shirt. This particular lamb, I just like how tucked up he is in that chest floor and gets progressively deeper as we transition to his rear flank. I do think he's pretty rugged in terms of his bone work. He does not get quite as level in terms of his hip structure relative to lambs 1 and 2 in this particular class, but a real smooth-fronted, real extended fronted type of a lamb that this young lady's done just a real nice job with. These next two lambs that we're going to use to round the class up with, these wethers, we went with the young man's wether with the red plaid shirt here because this lamb is just simply bigger in terms of his back and loin. I think also an individual that's been fed quite well. The young lady that we're going to use to round the class up with here with this lamb, this is a nice lamb from a standpoint that it has a very long spine. It's going to hang a very long carcass and a very consumer-acceptable carcass from a weight standpoint. But he does get just a little bit flatter in terms of his muscle shape as we analyze him through his rack and his loin. And so those are some of the things that I'd like to change about him to make him just a little more competitive as we and potentially moving further up into the class. But just a great set of lambs for us to evaluate. Let's give all these exhibitors a round of applause. It's really been a pleasure to look at a class that's been ran so well and going so well and talking to all these exhibitors.
Okay, our first blue in that class awarded to Wyatt Botham, and our second blue awarded to Olivia Petke. Okay, next we have our market class 136 to 147 pounds. We should have Olivia Petke, Arabella Canoe, Blake Sikora, Catherine Lang, Natalie Luziski, Elizabeth Raychek, and Urban Tuchel. Following this class, we will pick our champion and reserve champion market land. So if you received the first blue in either of the market classes, you're going to want to keep your animal on deck. And following market class, we will start with senior showmanship. But we'll give you a few minutes to get ready in between classes so you can get ready for showmanship.
Again, we're watching coverage of the 2023 Sheep Show from the Northern Wisconsin State Fair. I'm Brian Winnikins. This is our last class. Oh, we got one loose. We got one of the lambs saying, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go back. I want to go home. And, well, the exhibitor's like, the judge is like, hey there, buddy, how's it going? I'm going to check you out here for a second. I'll give you back to your human. No, I don't want to do that. I told you. Oh, now he's going to come over and say hi. Hi, you're on TV. Oh, and he's like, no, I'm not doing this.
Okay, at 11 o'clock today, if you're interested, we have James Maher will be in the milking facility in the barn to the north here, and he's going to be giving a milking demonstration. So if you're interested in learning more on the milking side of dairy, he'll be giving milking demonstrations at 11 o'clock today.
This will be our final class, and so then we'll have our champion.
Reserve champion for our market. We'll be bringing back both first and second place blue. So we have a first place blue and a second place blue. So that would be Abigail Sikora, Wyatt Frazier, Natalie Luziski, Urban Tuchel, Emmett Breck, Arabella Canoe, Olivia Petke, and Wyatt Botham. You're going to want to have your first and second place blue market lands in the holding area.
After we name our champion market lamb, that's where we will step aside and we will get ready for the upcoming beef show. That's later this afternoon with our coverage beginning at about 12:55 with the beef show starting in earnest at 1 o'clock this afternoon. So this will be our final class. We'll name our champion and then we'll be stepping aside here until later on this afternoon. And thank you to our sponsors of our video live streams as well. Thank you to Wisconsin Credit Union, also Chippewa Valley Energy, Provisions Health Durand, 24/7 and West Wisconsin Telecom, Pierce Pep and Cooperative Services. Numbers are us, O'Galley Cheese Factory, Bluff Country Feed and Seed, Compeer Financial, and Synergy Co-op. Please thank all of our sponsors. Give them a call, drop them an email, visit their business. Tell them thank you for supporting our live video streams, not only from the Northern Wisconsin State Fair, but also our upcoming county fairs as well, including Wabasha, Dunn, Buffalo Pepin, and Pierce County. So we'll be having more shows next week. It'll be from Wabasha County. And then the week after that, it's Dunn County. Then it's Buffalo Pepin. And we wrap everything up with Pierce County.
very nice individuals here, probably as we go from both ends of the class, and some individuals that just really, I think, represent the market land industry well, both from a commercial land industry standpoint and a show land standpoint. The individual we're going to start the class with, he's just the most unique and attractive and best balanced when we look at him from the profile. We've been talking about things like rib shape and sheep being high-chested. He does that extremely well. If you look at that fore portion of his body, he's just very, very round in his rib cage. He's very tall-shouldered. And at the same time, he transitions back into a deeper flight. It's really big in terms of his loin shape, really big in that upper side of his hip, and he gives us the most overall leg muscle shape relative to any other line in the class. And so I think we're taking to the rail, in addition to those balance and eye appeal features that he has, we're taking to the rail, he's going to provide us with a carcass that gives us the highest percentage of boneless, closely trimmed retail cuts, and he's going to be the best yielding lamb that we do have out here. And so we appreciate those design features and those market-ready features that he does have. So he does a lot in terms of being a marketable sheep, both from a show lamb standpoint and when taken to the rail and just being a transition from a market lamb into lamb for a consumer. The lamb that I think does that the second best for us is the lamb that we have here in the second. He's an individual that I do arguably like him just a little bit better as we transition from the top of his shoulder and he blends into his loin. He's a little stronger, a little leveler there. He's also over his rib and down through his rear flank for his weight, and so he does that extremely well. I think the sheep that's just real impressive in terms of the roundness to his rib cage, and he maintains some real unique muscle features to that top side of his skeleton is going to be the lamb that we have here in third. This lamb, I like him just in terms of how big rack, big loin he is, and he's just a very, very smooth lamb when you look at him from the profile. Transitions extremely well from his shoulder to his rib to his rear flank, and so a smooth appearing sheep that's very good in terms of muscularity, and a sheep that I think is just spot on in terms of where he needs to be for going to market being harvested here today. If we were going to change him and allow him to move further up in the class, this lamb in third place is what I'm talking about, we'd like to see him be just a notch taller in terms of the shoulder, a notch more tucked up from his rib, and a little bit deeper with his rear flank. So I think that allows him to move further up the line for us. A lamb that is just a little bit more unique and attractive when we look at him on the profile, just in terms of his levelness of spine and levelness of hip, is the lamb that we have in fourth. I think an individual that is also quite impressive with handling through his rack and his loin, but he does handle just a little bit softer. He doesn't give us quite as much lower leg muscle shape relative to the lambs that we have in 1, 2, and 3. And so if we could just work him and exercise him from a standpoint to where he'd be just a little bit bigger in that lower leg shape, I think that he transitioned up into the top of the class first a little bit easier. And as is the lamb that we have here in fifth, I think two lambs that have been that are similar in terms of how they handle and in their potential and their overall design. This lamb that we have here in fifth place here today, very level-made, square hip type of a sheep. He is though starting to get just a little bit plainer in terms of his muscle shape over his top relative to lambs 1, 2, and 3 in particular in this class. And we would like to see him be just a little bit more, give us just a little bit more outer shape to his leg relative to lambs 1, 2, and 3 in this class. A very trim handling lamb. Without a doubt, this is the lamb in the class here, this redder. He's going to be the individual that is going to hang the carcass at the least amount of fat cover, which gives the consumer the opportunity to simply have more product relative to fat waste. And so from a finish standpoint, this guy is really good. He's also quite tall-shouldered. The young man keeps his head up nice and high for us. But from a muscle standpoint itself, we would like to see him be a little bigger in terms of his rack shape, a little wider and square in terms of the edges of his loin, and specifically in that lower 1/3 of his leg, we'd like to see him have a little bit more polish there in order to move him further up in the class. The young lady's ewe lamb, as it is with ewe lambs, they tend to deposit fat earlier in life relative to wethers, and that's what we're seeing here with this ewe lamb. She does transition real smooth for us. She's got a smooth appearance. She's got a level design. Part of that is because she does have so much finish on her relative to her weight. She's definitely acceptable in terms of the market weight, and as a ewe lamb, she's simply putting on more finish or more fat, which makes her poor yielding. And as I said to her when we were looking earlier, when a consumer pays the same per pound for this ewe lamb relative to the wether that's right next to her, they're obviously getting more waste as well. And so we have to take that into consideration as we look at as market lambs. But again, round of applause to all these exhibitors. Really been a pleasure to evaluate this heavyweight market lamb class.
Okay, our first place blue in that class awarded to Arabella Canute, and our second blue awarded to Urban Tuchel. So we will call your first place and second place blues out individually. So when you hear your name called, I'll bring your animal out. So we're going to pick our champion and reserve champion market lamb in class number 1. First place blue, Abigail Socorro with a 95-pound lamb. Second place blue in the lightweight class, we have Wyatt Frazier with a 104-pound lamb. In class 2, Natalie Lizuski with a 110-pound lamb. Second place blue in class 2, Urban Tuchel with a 112-pound lamb. In class 3, first place blue, Emmett Breck with a 119-pound lamb. Second place blue in class 3, Arabella Canute with a 121-pound lamb. Class 4, first place blue, Wyatt Gotham with a 135-pound lamb. Second place blue in class 4, Olivia Heitke with a 133-pound lamb. Class 5, first place blue, Arabella Canute with a 137-pound lamb. Second place blue, class 5, Urban Tuchel with a 147-pound lamb. These are your first and second place blues for your market class lambs. Good luck. While our judge is looking over our animals, I'd like to just recognize our sponsors by the banners that are hanging around the Coliseum. We have Suck Up Market, JNS Services, A Touch of Home Adult Care, Dean and Associates, KSM Farms, Royal Credit Union, Fireworks Liquidators, Security Financial Bank, Synergy Cooperative, Dirk's Farms Beef, Security Bank, H&R Electric, Keneally Dairy Farms, Advantage Door, WS Darling Company, the YMCA, Close Farms, River Country Co-op, and of course Custer Farms for the Coliseum here today. Thank you to all our sponsors.
Again, we're in the championship round as to determine grand and reserve champion here at the Northern Wisconsin State Fair in the 2023 Sheep Show. This is for the reserve and grand champion market lamb. These are the lambs that will be in the livestock auction tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, and we will have coverage of the livestock auction on our YouTube channel, Facebook page, and website. Coverage beginning tomorrow night at about 5:55. All right, so judges, I think, ready.
For me, this was really fun. I hope all of you in the room and all of you that have made the final drive for the Market Animal Show would agree as well. It's just been a really fun morning for me to evaluate the market land as well as the breeding stock, and just see some improvements. I think just in terms of showmanship technique, in terms of sheep quality, relative to when I was here just simply 1 year ago. Unless it's the new building, it's either the new building or everybody's just simply doing just a little bit better job relative to last year. I think we're all doing just a little bit better job relative to last year. But really a pleasure to see some excellent quality sheep and some sheep that all of them really have a distinct purpose as they fulfill their niche within the industry. There is I'll cut to the chase. There's a market land out in the ring just now that really is ideal for me from a balance and eye appeal standpoint and from a muscularity standpoint. I think he just puts all the things we're really trying to do within the market animal and specifically following the industry. He brings it all together quite well for us, and so therefore he's a very competitive individual. At this stage, I'm just going to shake the hand of the exhibitor of the Grand Champion Market Land. We'll move the second place individual class into line, and then I will reevaluate the sheep, and I'll make a selection for your reserve champion Market Land. But again, thank you for doing such a good job out here, every one of you. That includes all the exhibitors that aren't in the final five just now. My hat goes off to you as well for just doing a fantastic job. Bringing me some really high quality, well managed livestock to evaluate.
All right, here we go. We'll find out who our Grand Champion Market Lamb is. On reserve champion.
Champion Market Land, weighing 137 pounds, exhibited by Arabella Canoe. Congratulations. Our reserve champion Market Land, 135 pounds, exhibited by Wyatt Gotham. Congratulations.
And so that will wrap up our sheep show here from the Northern Wisconsin State Fair. Again, thank you to all of our video sponsors as well. We will be back later this afternoon at 12:55 for the beef show. And so join us again at 12:55 this afternoon for the beef show from the Northern Wisconsin State Fair. Until then, I'm Brian Winnikins. Make it a great